Have you ever felt that something is perfect? It could be a movie, a TV series, or maybe a person. Something that blows your mind because of the way it makes you happy, entertained, or feel genuine love. Well, I really hope you have because it is the most beautiful thing in the world to find a perfect match made in heaven for you. This has happened to me before. When I was 18 years old, I watched Pulp Fiction by Quentin Tarantino for the first time, and it immediately became my favorite movie ever. It was like nothing I had seen before, and I'm pretty sure it will always be my most beloved film until the day I die. With this said, I want to tell the whole world that it has happened again. I have found again something that has brought me an immense love and passion, something that I won't find anywhere else. That is the topic of this video. We are here to talk about Balatro, my favorite game ever. Balatro is an experimental poker deck building roguelike that shake and reshaped the whole indie industry in 2024 when it released. This game not only has had great sales since its launch, it also won multiple awards at the Game Awards of 2024, solidifying its legacy as one of the best indies ever made. All of this is great. Personally, I love when games that I like perform well both on sales and critically among game reviews. But that is not the main thing I want to speak about in this video. This video is a love letter to a game that has given me so much joy throughout this past year when I started playing it. I have recently beaten the game to 100% after spending more than 275 hours in it. Honestly, I never expected to actually 100% the game, but I did it because I wanted to truly live the complete Balatro experience. Before giving my thoughts about finishing the game, I want to give a brief introduction of what the game is and why finishing it is a big milestone. Balatro is, like I said before, an experimental poker deck building roguelike. That's a lot of fancy words, so let's break it down. I mentioned experimental poker because it has some of the core mechanics of poker, but it is definitely not poker. I really like this aspect of the game because if you're a poker fan like I am, this game will definitely gain your attention, but also if you don't like poker or you don't know how to play it, you can still give it a chance thanks to how different it is to real poker. It is a win-win scenario. It is also a deck building roguelike because every single match will be completely different. You will never have two exact same runs in Balatro, and this is because poker is a random game, and this principle goes above and beyond with Balatro, when it adds the possibility to increase or decrease the cards on your deck, use jokers that will give you special abilities to score more points, or use consumables like planets or tarot cards to modify your deck and your scoring hands. The game forces you to learn the mechanics, come up with strategies, and try creative ways to win. It is all about test and failure until you get a grip of the game and finally start winning consistently. I still remember when I bought the game and I started playing it, it took me literal hours to win my first match. In the red deck on white's deck difficulty, which is the easiest difficulty. I remember calling my girlfriend and telling her all about the game, about how much I love it, but also how much I hated it. Because it's been 2 days since I bought it and I haven't been able to get my first win. And after that I realized that it was just the beginning. After my first win, I discovered that there were more difficulties for each deck, being 8 decks in total, and also that there were 15 different decks that completely changed the way you strategize to win in them. Just imagine the time it will take to complete all the difficulties on every deck while also obtaining all the achievements in a game that is all about randomness. But you know what? I wasn't overwhelmed. I was extremely happy and excited. So much quality content for an indie game that is like $15 was just paradise on earth. And also, the game is extremely fun and addicting, so knowing that I wasn't going to run out of content and that I will keep on playing for days, weeks, and months without stopping made me fall in love with it. There's no other game that makes me feel this way, that can entertain me the way Balatro does. I know I'm not alone out there. I know a lot of people love Balatro too, and this video is dedicated to all of the Balatro fanbase, and also to thank Local Tongue for creating a game that has brought joy to many people. My love for Balatro has been manifested in the real world. I'm an engineer, so for a glass I machined this piece of metal into the green Joker, which is my favorite Joker in the game, and I kept it as a little souvenir of the game. I think it is truly amazing how we can experience so much from something so simple like a video game, especially when it's only made by an independent studio or even a single person. Balatro is the definition of a perfect indie game. Low price, original concept, great mechanics, innovative, influential, fun, beautiful art and graphics, countless possibilities, almost becoming a never-ending game because even if you get all the achievements, you will never have to sign bronze, so you will always experience something new and fun. Also, like a bonus, it has great indie collaborations. Just look at the face card designs of games like Binding of Isaac, Poachcraft, and my all-time favorite design, Among Us. They look so cute, especially the Jack, because it's the Among Us guy with its baby. It's so freaking cool, I love it. Do I even have to give more reasons of why this is the best indie ever and totally perfect in every single way? I don't think so. Am I being extremely biased because of my fanatism? Yes, of course, and that's exactly what I said in my Death Stranding video. Art not only comes in many different ways, it also affects everyone differently. So, for me, Balatro is a masterpiece that makes me think it's a perfect indie game. Finally, I want to make a review of the 100% experience. As I said before, it was challenging and actually achieving it was a complete surprise even for myself. So let's start with the minor achievements. Things like win your first match, reach Ante 4 and stuff like that are bound to happen if you play the game enough. So that's that, there's not much to talk about that. Then we have more challenging achievements that you need to actively look for them, like win a run in 12 or fewer rounds. For this achievement in particular, using jokers like throwback and non-scaling powerful jokers like Stuntman or the Duo are key to get this. Other examples are win a run without re-rolling the shop, have $400 or more in a single run, have 80 or more cards in your deck, play a flush with 5 wildcards, etc. All of these are honestly hard to achieve. It requires you to play in a really specific way to actually achieve them, and the RNG is also something to keep in mind because something like playing a flush with 5 wildcards requires you to have a lot of luck. For example, getting many wildcard tarot cards, also dead cards to duplicate the already wildcarded cards, and finally have all of the wildcards on your hand to play the flush. So, as you can see, there are many factors involved to get these achievements, so they can actually be a really big pain in the ass if you're in an unlucky streak of runs. Okay, so finally we have the top achievements. The ones that will make you surrender or will lead you to the path to greatness. I'm talking about Rule Breaker, Completionist Plus, and Completionist Plus Plus. These achievements will require so much consistency, patience, and dedication from the players to get the 100% that it is absurd. Let's begin with the easiest of them three, Rule Breaker. Rule Breaker only requires you to complete all challenge runs. Challenge runs are specific scenarios in which the game gives you restrictions and different rules to beat them. They are super fun and replayable. I gotta be honest, I didn't struggle with any challenge back when I played them. They were really fun and an original gimmick to an already fun and original game, so it wasn't that hard to beat. Probably the only real challenges can be inflation, cruelty, and jokerless, but as I said before, I didn't really struggle that much with any of them. Then we reach the big leagues, the completionist achievements. Let's start first with Completionist Plus. It requires you to beat all 15 decks on Gold Stake difficulty, which is the 8th and max difficulty for every deck. That means that you will have to get a total of 120 wins to get Completionist Plus. This is the achievement that took me the most to complete, taking into account the sheer amount of runs you gotta play and win to achieve this. Also, adding the fact that the game is heavily RNG based, nothing assures you to win every single match that you play to progress faster. My personal win streak is 4, so to win those 120 runs, I most likely lost around 50% of all the runs that I played. Also, let's consider the fact that every deck is really different, some being easier to play, like Plasma deck, and others much harder, like Black deck. I got this achievement in December 2024, 10 months after I started playing the game, of course with some breaks along the way, but still 10 months playing and playing until I finally got it. Then I took a break, and on July 2025 I came back for the last achievement, Completionist Plus Plus. Completionist Plus Plus is overwhelming. This is the main reason I never expected to actually 100% the game. It requires you to earn a gold sticker on every joker in the game. You gain a gold sticker when you win a run on any deck in gold stake difficulty, which is really hard. There is a total of 150 jokers in the game, some extremely useful that can be incorporated to every run without being a handicap, and some that are completely trash and useless. Before ranting about the jokers that made me suffer to get the gold sticker in them, I also want to point out the fact that this is an RNG based game. Even if you get a really good gold stick run, nothing assures you that you will find the joker that you're missing to earn the gold sticker. It happened to me in multiple occasions that I reached the final boss in Anti-8 without encountering a joker to get the gold sticker, so I wasted a perfectly good Completionist Plus Plus run. That is some of the most heartbreaking moments when hunting for this achievement, depending so much in having good luck to build a good gold stake deck that, while simultaneously finding 1 or 2 jokers to earn them the gold sticker, especially when you're missing 15 or less jokers to finish the achievement, is just overwhelming and stressful. But I do want to point out the really satisfying moments in which I had runs where I managed to earn 4 jokers with gold stake. Those were perfect matches in which, even with not so good jokers, I managed to get them to work good enough to beat the gold stake and advance with the achievement much faster. Some of the jokers that I struggled a lot, both to find them and also to win with them, were Paradiola, Diet Cola, Cavendish, Midas Mask, Stone Joker, Showman, Flower Pot, Matador, Astronomer, and all the perishable jokers like Popcorn, Girls Mitchell, and Seltzer. I think we can see a tendency here. Many of these jokers were uncommon, harder to find in the store, and sometimes not so useful in gold stake runs like Flower Pot or Diet Cola. Also, Joker's bound conditions were hard to find, for example Cavendish. It couldn't appear until you had a Gross Mitchell extinct. That's 3 types of RNG. First, to find the Gross Mitchell from a pool of more than 100 Jokers. Then, the RNG of the Joker going extinct with a 1 in 6 chance of doing so. And finally, after him going extinct, now you need to have good RNG to find Cavendish in the store before losing or going to the last round of Anti-8. It has happened to me that Gross Mitchell survives for more than 10 rounds. It's absurd. It's so unlucky. Getting Cavendish was extremely difficult and stressful for all the number of things that must go right on your way to get him. Not even taking into consideration that you need to have a strong build so that you don't lose on your way to finding him. But then, I finally achieved it. I got Completionist Plus Plus in August 2025, and after experiencing this beautiful and sometimes stress-inducing game, I can say with full honesty and certainty that this is a perfect game, which I will keep on playing until the last of my days in this earth. It is truly a masterpiece that every single human on this planet should experience. So please do it. Thanks for watching. Keep having fun because at the end of the day, that's what life is all about. Goodbye.